Hello, my friend. Welcome back to my channel, Learn English Bold. Before we begin today's story, I have a small request for you. If you enjoy these videos, please hit that subscribe button and give this video a like. It might look small to you, but for me, it's a big encouragement to keep going and creating more for you. And also, drop a comment below. I'd really love to know what you think. My name is Amelia. Today, I will tell you about my daily routine as a college student in Yakutsk, one of the coldest cities in the world. In winter, life here is very different. The temperature can go down to -40 or even -50 degrees Celsius. Everyday life requires patience, discipline, and warm clothes. I will speak slowly and clearly so you can understand me easily. This will also help you practice your English listening and speaking. Are you ready? Let's begin. Early morning. I usually wake up very early, around 5:30 in the morning. It is still completely dark outside. In Yakutsk, winter mornings are long and cold. The window is covered with frost, and I can sometimes see ice patterns like flowers on the glass. When my alarm rings, I don't want to leave the warm blanket. The air in the room feels a little cold, even though the heater is on. But I know I have to get up because I work part-time in the mornings. I slowly sit up in bed, stretch my arms, and take a deep breath. Then I put on warm socks and a thick sweater before leaving my room. The floor feels very cold, so warm socks are important. In the bathroom, I brush my teeth and wash my face with warm water. I look at myself in the mirror and smile a little. Even though it is early and freezing outside, I remind myself, this is a new day, Amelia. Be strong. Getting ready for work. After washing, I go to the kitchen for a quick breakfast. Because I don't have much time before work, I eat something simple. I usually have bread with butter or jam and a hot cup of tea. Sometimes I eat oatmeal with milk because it keeps me warm. In winter, drinking something hot is very important. It helps the body fight against the cold. After breakfast, I get dressed for the outside. This takes time because winter in Yakutsk is extreme. First, I wear thermal underwear. Then, I put on thick pants and a sweater. On top of that, I wear a heavy winter coat filled with down feathers. I also wear woolen gloves, a scarf, a warm hat, and special boots made for extreme cold. Covering every part of the body is necessary because if skin is exposed for even a few minutes, it can freeze. When I finally finish dressing, I feel like a snowman, but I know this is the only way to stay safe in -45 degrees. Going to part-time work. I leave the house around 6 in the morning. The street is dark, and the air feels heavy and frozen. Every breath I take makes a little cloud of steam in front of me. The walk to the bus stop is only about 7 minutes, but it feels much longer in this cold. I walk quickly because standing still is dangerous. Sometimes the snow under my boots makes a loud, crunchy sound. At the bus stop, I wait with other people. Everyone is wearing thick coats, fur hats, and gloves. Nobody talks much because the air is too cold for long conversations. When the bus arrives, I feel relieved. Inside the bus, it is warm and comfortable. The windows are frozen on the outside, but inside it feels like a small, safe place. The ride to my part-time job takes about 15 minutes. I usually sit quietly, listening to music, or just watching the snowy streets. Part-time work in the restaurant. I work in a small restaurant in the mornings. It opens early because many workers and students buy breakfast there. When I arrive, I take off my heavy coat, scarf, gloves, and hat. Inside, it feels warm and cozy. The smell of fresh bread and hot soup fills the air. I usually work for 2 hours, from 6:30 to 8:30. My tasks are simple but important. I help set tables, clean, and sometimes serve tea and coffee. I also greet customers and smile, even if it is so early. At first, working in the mornings felt difficult, but now I enjoy it. I meet different people, and I earn some extra money, which helps with my studies. During quiet moments, I sometimes talk with my coworkers. They tell me stories about Yakutsk winters, and I learn more about how people live in such extreme cold. When my shift ends, I feel a little tired, but also proud. I put on my heavy coat and boots again and step outside. Returning home. Around 8:45, I take the bus back home. The sun is just starting to rise, but in winter, it stays very low in the sky. The city looks white and frozen, like a painting. When I arrive home, I remove my many layers of winter clothes. It always feels nice to finally be back in the warm house. I go to the kitchen again and prepare a second breakfast. This time, I eat something bigger because I will need energy for college. I usually eat rice with eggs, or pancakes with jam, or soup with bread. And, of course, I drink hot tea again. While eating, I check my phone for college messages, class updates, or news. Sometimes I also text my friends to ask about the day's schedule. Preparing for college. After breakfast, I go to my room to get ready for college. I take a quick shower if I have time. Then I put on warm but comfortable clothes for class. I prepare my college bag carefully. I check my notebooks, pens, and textbooks. I also add my water bottle, a small snack, and sometimes my laptop. Before leaving, I always double-check phone, keys, wallet, student ID. In Yakutsk, forgetting something means going back into the cold again, so I try to be careful. By 9:30, I am ready to leave for college. Going to college. I put on all my winter layers again: coat, scarf, gloves, boots, and hat. It takes time, but I am used to it now. The bus stop is full of students, workers, and people going to the market. Everyone looks serious in the cold, but if you look carefully, you can see smiles and warm eyes. The bus ride to college takes about 20 minutes. I sit quietly, looking at the frozen city outside the window. The buildings are covered in snow, and sometimes I see people carrying hot tea in thermos flasks. At college, morning classes. When I arrive at college, I walk quickly inside the building. The air inside feels warm and comfortable compared to the outside. I greet my classmates and go to my classroom. The first lecture usually begins at 10 o'clock in the morning. I sit in my favorite place, near the middle row. I take out my notebook and pen and prepare to listen. The teacher enters and the lecture begins. Sometimes it is mathematics, sometimes literature, sometimes history. I listen carefully and write notes. Even though I worked in the morning, I try not to feel sleepy. I drink water, and sometimes I chew gum to stay awake. Between classes, we have short breaks. I walk around the hallway, talk with friends, and sometimes drink tea. Lunch break. Around 12:30 in the afternoon, we have a lunch break. By this time, I feel hungry again. In winter, the body uses more energy to stay warm, so eating well is important. Sometimes I bring lunch from home. I usually pack rice with chicken or soup in a thermos. The food stays warm inside the thermos, which is very useful. Other times, I go with friends to the college cafeteria. They serve hot meals like soup, potatoes, or dumplings. Eating warm food feels very comforting when it is freezing outside. During lunch, we talk about our classes, our assignments, or funny stories. It is a time to relax before the afternoon study continues. Told you about my daily routine in Yakutsk from early morning until lunchtime. You learned that I wake up early, go to my part-time job at a restaurant, and then attend my morning college classes. Now I will continue the story of my day, what happens in the afternoon, evening, and night. Remember, life in Yakutsk during winter is not easy. The cold changes everything, how we travel, what we eat, and even how we feel. But still, life goes on, and we find warmth in our routines. Afternoon classes. After lunch, I usually have another lecture or seminar. It starts around 1:30 or 2 in the afternoon. Sometimes it is a theory-based class where the teacher explains new concepts. Other times, it is a practical session where we discuss or work on assignments. Afternoons are a little harder for me because I already worked 2 hours in the morning and attended lectures, but I try to stay focused and take clear notes. I know that studying now will help me later. During the class, I sometimes feel a little sleepy. When that happens, I drink water or sit up straight to stay alert. If the topic is interesting, time passes quickly. But if it is difficult, I tell myself, "Be patient, Amelia. You can do this." By around 3:30 or 4, my college classes usually finish. I feel a small wave of relief because the academic part of the day is done. But my day is not over yet. I still have to go to my part-time job again. Part-time work in the evening. I work at the restaurant for another 2 hours, from about 4:30 to 6:30 in the evening. The restaurant is busier at this time because many people stop by after work or before going home. My tasks are similar to the morning shift. I set tables, serve tea and coffee, bring food, and clean up. I also greet customers with a smile. In the evenings, I often feel a little tired, but I remind myself that this job is helping me pay for my studies and personal expenses. This thought gives me energy. Sometimes customers talk with me. They ask me about college, or they share little stories about their day. These small conversations make the job more enjoyable. At 6:30, my shift ends. I thank my coworkers, put on my heavy coat and boots again, and step outside into the freezing evening. Returning home. By now, it is already dark outside, even though it is only early evening. In Yakutsk, during winter, daylight hours are very short. I take the bus home, tired but satisfied. The bus is usually full of people going home after work. I sit quietly, sometimes closing my eyes for a few minutes. When I finally reach my stop, I walk quickly to my house. The cold air stings my face, but I know home is close. As soon as I enter the house, I feel a wave of warmth. I take off my coat, gloves, hat, scarf, and boots. Removing so many layers feels like freedom. Evening routine. At home, the first thing I do is wash my hands and face. Then I change into comfortable clothes, sweatpants and a warm hoodie. It feels soft and relaxing after wearing heavy winter clothes all day. I sit in the living room for a few minutes to rest. Sometimes I lie down on the sofa. Sometimes I check my phone, reply to messages, or scroll through social media. If I feel hungry, I eat a small snack, like fruit, bread, or cookies with hot tea. Tea is always important in winter. It keeps me warm and calm. Dinner. Around 7:30 in the evening, I join my family for dinner. Dinner in Yakutsk during winter is usually warm and filling. We eat soups, dumplings, meat with potatoes, or rice with vegetables. The food is simple but comforting. It gives us the energy to face the cold days. At the table, we share stories. My parents ask about my college and part-time job. I tell them funny things that happened during the day. We laugh, and the room feels warmer with our voices. After dinner, I help clean the kitchen. I wash the dishes and wipe the table. Keeping things tidy makes me feel calm. Study and homework. After dinner, around 8:30, I go to my room. I spend some time studying or finishing homework. If I have an exam, I prepare seriously. If I have an assignment, I try to complete it. Sometimes I feel tired, but I remind myself that studying is the main reason I am here. Even 1 hour of focused study makes a difference. I keep my desk clean with only my books and laptop. The quiet winter night outside helps me concentrate.
Free time. Around 9:30 or 10 o'clock, I give myself some free time. This is my reward for a long, busy day. Sometimes I watch a TV series or a short movie. Other times I read a book or write in my journal. Writing down my thoughts helps me release stress. Sometimes I call my friends. We laugh and share stories about our college life. Even though Yakutsk winters are harsh, friendship and laughter make life easier.
Preparing to sleep. Before sleeping, I like to read for a few minutes. Sometimes it's a novel. Sometimes it's a short article. Reading makes my mind calm and ready for rest. After reading, I put away the book and close my eyes. I think quietly about my day. What did I do well? What can I improve tomorrow? I remind myself to be grateful for my family, for my studies, and for the warmth of home. Sleeping. Finally, around 11 or 11:30, I switch off the lamp and lie down in bed. Outside, the world is frozen and silent, but inside my blanket, I feel safe and warm. I take a deep breath, smile a little, and slowly fall asleep, ready for another day in Yakutsk.